Yeah.
Good morning. It's 9:30. We'll call the monthly or the meeting of the Board of Supervisors to order. Let's stand for the pledge of the flag. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there any public comment on agenda items other than development or rezoning applications? Yep, come on up. And state your name for the record, please.
Good morning. Linda Moore. I'm the Executive Director of the Site Center of Northwest Pennsylvania, and I'm here regarding agenda item number 13, which is a resolution honoring Tycho Swick by designating a portion of Crescent Drive between West 26th and Berkeley Road in Mill Creek with the honorary street name of Tycho Swick Way. And I could talk all day, but I promise I will stick to about 2 minutes. In 1999, on June 9th, Tycho Swick hired me to be something, I hardly even remember what, 26 years ago, for what used to be Erie Center for the Blind. And I went for my interview, and I couldn't find the building because there wasn't a sign. And I drove around and around, and I wound up being late for my interview. And Tycho, I thought, well, that's it. I'm never going to get this job. But he was very kind to me. And I said to him, don't you think an agency that serves people who can't see well ought to have a big sign? And he said, well, probably. Why don't you do that? You raise the money and get a big sign. And so that's what I did. But the other piece of our interview, as we were walking around the building, I asked him when he started at the Site Center. And he said, oh, golly, I think probably March, April 1963. And I said, oh my God, that's the month I was born. And I thought, oh shoot, I'm not gonna get the job. Well, I got hired. But the long and the short of it is Tycho Swick was the executive director of the Site Center from 1963 until I took his job in 2009. 46 years as the executive director. During that time, he was also the game manager for the Save an Eye football game, which I hope you're all familiar with and plan to attend this year. Tycho managed the Save an Eye football game for 50 years. Pretty much single-handedly. Of course, he had some help, but he did a lot of it single-handedly. And he is still active with the Lions. He worked for me for 10 additional years after he retired in 2009. He was so bored with retirement, he came back. And so the Lions Club and the Site Center are all in agreement with the idea of naming a piece of the road around the Site Center in an honorary name of Tycho Swick Way. Actually, I wanted it to be Tycho Swick's Way because we still talk about that at the Site Center. Well, that would have been Tycho's Way, but I do things a little differently. But anyway, we've agreed to Tycho Swick Way, and I hope that you will pass the resolution and allow us to do it. We've chosen a very tasteful, beautiful sign to hang up, and as soon as we get your permission, I'll pull the trigger and buy the sign. We are trying to get it done within the next couple of weeks, if possible, because Tycho is 85 and is not doing so well. I'd really like to do this while we still have him, and we can honor him properly, and put a picture of the unveiling of the sign in the program for the Save an Eye football game. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions? Okay.
Are there any other public comments on agenda items other than development or rezoning applications? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to approval of the minutes from April 22nd. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Claire?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 5 is approval of the bills. Is there a motion to approve the bills?
I'll make that motion, Dan.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 6 is a public hearing on a petition requesting a change in zoning classifications for property located at 5630 New Perry Highway. Mr. Waldinger?
Thank you. Good morning. Yes, at their regular meeting of Tuesday, April 1st, 2025, the Planning Commission, the Mill Creek Township Planning Commission, made a recommendation relative to this rezoning request. The original rezoning request was to change both of the properties to an MU2, Mixed Use 2, Corridor Commercial zoning. After discussion with the commission and the uses that were proposed, and taking into account the fact that there was not MU2 in the immediate area, but it was adjacent to an MU1 district, the Planning Commission did recommend the change in zoning, but recommended that it be changed to an MU1, Mixed Use 1 neighborhood, rather than the requested MU2.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll go ahead and open up the hearing. Is there anyone here to speak on behalf of this rezoning?
Yes.
Can you state your name for the record, please?
Gentlemen, I want address too.
Sure.
I'm Garrett Furman, F-U-H-R-M-A-N. I'm the owner of the company. My address is 3132 El Corto Way here in Mill Creek. And we've lived here in the same house for 50 years. Yeah. Seems like everything's 50 years with me. We've been married 50 years too. But
Congratulations.
This is a case where the zoning on the two parcels on Perry Highway is what we wanted to have changed to. We're selling the building, unfortunately, as I mentioned to some of you earlier. And by the way, everyone here has been so kind to me and helpful through this whole process because I'm kind of green. I'm working with Bob Glowacki, but he said, you can handle this. So I was like, oh, sure. But we wanted to get to M2. The only reason M2 was where we had originally requested was because it could stay light industry as opposed to where M1, it could still stay light industry with some certain parameters. So it's really not an issue if we have to go to M1 as opposed to M2 because everything else pretty much is covered. Unfortunately, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but fortunately, we may have found a buyer in the last couple days for the building. And they were, actually, Bob was working with him yesterday, and unfortunately, one of them got sick and kind of canceled the meeting for the rest of the meeting. So we didn't finish a deal. Consequently, so what I'd like to do is if we could table the resolution for a couple of weeks or meetings to verify, because if the gentleman wants to do a lot of storage, what's it called? Warehousing, thank you. Warehousing. And warehousing isn't covered under either M1 or M2, I believe, right? Is that true? Yes, yeah. So, and it is under light industry. So if he were to finalize everything and we were able to sell to him, there would be no reason to change the zoning if that's the case. So, so my request to you guys and girls would be to, if we could table the resolution for a meeting or two to verify what's going, and then I'm guessing he's going to buy, but if he doesn't, for our purposes of selling the building, it's about 18,000 square feet and it's right on the highway. If you go up Perry Highway past the zoo, you might be familiar with our place.
Yes.
I was telling the gentleman the tower that came down from Hayside, if it went another, say, 100 feet, it'd be in my office. Yeah. So we're right across the street from them. So that's pretty much my, you have a big agenda, so I won't take much time here. That's it. 78 years we've been in business. It makes me sick to just have to close this. We've had so many wonderful people. My grandfather, my father, they lived to be 90s and they worked within days of when they died. And I was going to do this till the day I died. And my daughter is a physician down at Children's Hospital, and my son has Asperger's, so we're out of we're out of people to run the business, and we can't get skilled labor, and we need incredibly skilled labor. So it's really sad. Yeah, and it literally has made me sick to my stomach, literally, to have to do this. So yeah. So anyway, I appreciate you all being so kind and so nice and helpful. Matt Putz was so helpful to me in regards to a lot of the things that we had here. I had the first time when we originally came up with the parcels, I labeled them wrong. Brought it out here, and he goes, you labeled those wrong. I said, well, I'll take it back and fix it. He says, no, I'll fix it for you, don't worry about it, which I thought was really kind, and obviously, because this is all new to me, so. Anyway, that's my request, if we could, and I don't know, you have meetings every other week or 2 weeks or so? Okay, so
Yes.
maybe if we could go down the line a couple meetings, is that okay with you to do?
Sure, you can be in touch with Mr.
I'll stay in
Waldinger and
touch
Mr.
with-
Paz. Yeah.
Stay in touch with Matt Putz
Yes,
and verify, and then we can schedule for another meeting, kind of like what we did just now.
right.
Yeah, because obviously we were approved for M1, and I would be fine with that, because he mentioned that, there isn't any M2 around us, so. There is a church around us. What do they do with churches in those areas?
Churches, I'm not sure of that one specifically, but they're allowed in residential districts. Churches and schools are
Oh, so there's
allowed,
a
and
lot
I
of
believe that
openings
might
for
be
that.
an R1 residential
And
district
this is
north of you.
a very big, I mean, they do a big congregation, so, yeah.
Okay.
If that's okay with you.
Thank you, Mr. Furman.
And we'll reschedule, and you'll see me again, and I won't talk as long. I apologize.
All right.
And you won't need me anymore, so I guess I can leave. So,
Thank you.
sorry to sound so ignorant about all this, but yes.
All right.
Thank
we'll,
you for your
yeah,
help.
You
Take
bet.
care.
We'll go ahead and close the hearing at the request of the petitioner, Mr. Furman. Is there a motion to table this rezoning?
I'll make a motion to table the requested rezoning.
And I will second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 7 is an amended land development plan for 2717 West 26th Street. Mr. Waldinger?
Thank you. Yes, this is the Biomat. I believe it's the plasma collection place on West 26th Street. The developer is Chestnut Chicago Holdings LLC, and they would like to amend their land development plan by adding 12 additional parking spaces to the parking lot. That will bring the total to 61 spaces, which is appropriate for this use, and will increase the impervious surface for the lot by recommendation of Planning and Development as well as the Township Engineer to recommend approval of the non-substantial amendment since the changes meet the definition and requirements of Section 12548 of the Subdivision and Land Development Ordinance.
Thank you. Any comments or questions for Mr. Waldinger?
No.
All right, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion to approve.
And I'll second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 8 is bids and quotations. The first item will be the Hart Road Sidewalk Project bid results and award. Mr. Rodemeyer?
Yes, thank you. Yes, we received public open bids for our 2025 sidewalk project for Hart Road. We did receive 6 bids from 6 different companies, with the 2 lowest bids being from Empire and Mad Creek. Mad Creek came in at $72,480.50, and Empire at the lowest bid of $61,999.00, and we are recommending approval for Empire to do the Hart Road sidewalk project.
Okay, thank you. Any comments or questions for Mr. Rodemeyer? Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next item is a radio antenna for the police department. Chief?
Thank you. When Erie County transitioned to the countywide public safety radio system years ago, 2 antennas were installed within the MPD dispatch center. The location of the antennas has been problematic since the start. Radio coverage in and around the township building has been unreliable. To remedy the situation, we've contacted Mobilecom, and the solution is to install 2 antennas on the roof of the township building. Mobilecom has provided a quote for this project in the amount of $2,402.41, and I recommend approval for the project.
Thank you, Chief. Any comments or questions for the chief? Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. 2026 Township Calendar Printing. Ms. Stutzman.
Good morning, thank you. The 36-page cover-to-cover Mill Creek Township calendar is mailed to both residents and businesses annually. It contains useful information for residents, including holidays, supervisors and committee meetings, building closings, recycling department guidelines, and much more. Specifications for printing include a quantity of 30,000, 32 pages plus the two front and back covers, 12 by 18 flat, 9 by 12 finished, FSC certified paper, 80 gloss text and cover, 4 color throughout, drill hole for hanging, saddle stitch, address and mailing list, and delivery to USPS. The postage is not included in this quote, but it is also budgeted for. The Forest Stewardship Council FSC mixed label third-party certification does mean that the product is made with a mixture of materials from FSC certified forests, recycled materials, and other FSC controlled wood. FSC ensures zero deforestation, fair wage, and work environment, supports conservation and community rights, as well as mitigates the risk of materials originating from unacceptable sources like illegal logging. Audits are conducted for compliance. Mill Creek Township received a quote from Printing Concepts, co-stars number 009-E22-081, at a cost of $37,951. This item was a budgeted expense under the 2025 CRS advertising and printing line, coming in $7,049 under budget. Approximately 18 of the 36 pages will be submitted to the PADEP 902 grant to be reimbursed if awarded and approved. And the Mill Creek Township Recycling Department recommends accepting the CoStar's quote for the printing of the 2026 residential calendar.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve this bid and quote?
I'll make that motion, Dan.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Claire?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 9.
Mr. Chairman?
Oh, yes. Go ahead.
But just before we move on, I get so many comments about the calendar from residents whenever I'm out and about. I think all of us probably do. They rely on that calendar for a lot. So I know that that's valued. The In Mill Creek magazine is also, everywhere I go, I am told that magazine lets them know absolutely everything that's going on, and they rely on that. And that, I think, is going to be hitting mailboxes very soon.
Should be hitting, the magazine did have a delay at the print shop, but it should be hitting mailboxes this week, we're told. And then the calendar, we just got word from PSATs that we won first place for the 2024 calendar.
Wow. First
year's.
place? Wow. Awesome.
It's great news. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Item 9 is new and amended ordinances under review. Attorney Shaw?
Yes, there are two that are currently being reviewed. First is the subdivision land development ordinance. We're still in the process of reviewing that with the engineering and planning department. And then the fines and penalties provisions of the code, we're reviewing those and hoping to come up with an updated list of provisions for that.
Okay, thank you. Item 10, Resolution 2025 R16, resolution pursuant to Resolution 2015 R20, and the Municipal Records Manual to approve the proposed disposition of certain township records. Attorney Shaw.
Yes, before you is a resolution to approve the disposal of certain municipal records maintained by the police department that are reaching the end of their retention period under the Municipal Records Manual. The police department records to be disposed include MVR BWC footage that includes test recordings between 2/21 of 25 through 3/13 of 25, traffic stops from 1/24/25 through 2/13 of 25, incident only in special circumstances from 4/22/23 through 5/12/23, and case report, arrest report, SRR unknown type from 4/22/2005 through 5/12 of 2005. My recommendation would be to approve the disposal of these records.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Mrs. Claire?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 11 is Resolution 2025-R17, assessing the cost of street lighting upon various properties abutting streets in various subdivisions throughout the township. Ms. Page.
Yes, excuse me. Before you is a resolution to assess the cost for streetlights upon various properties abutting on streets in various subdivisions within the township of Mill Creek. This is the annual assessment. The rates are provided to us by Penelec, and the total assessments for the year for all parcels, 8,145 parcels, will be $909,379.91. These assessments will be deemed effective June 1st, 2025, and they will be filed with the Mill Creek Township Tax Collector and shall be payable and collected in accordance with Chapter 91, Article 2 of the Mill Creek Township Code.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 12 is Resolution 2025-R18, setting the 2025 towing rates. Attorney Shaw?
Yes, under Mill Creek Code Section 13728, the township sets forth a process for towing companies to be approved to remove vehicles identified by the police department in accordance with the code. Section 13728 also provides that from time to time, the board is required to establish the maximum rates that approved companies may charge for removal and storage of vehicles. The current rates for towing and storage were set by the supervisors last in 2022, and there's not been a change since then. Pursuant to this resolution, the board will be approving an increase in the rates ranging from $5 to $35 as outlined in Exhibit A to the resolution. These rates will take effect as of May 14 of 2025, which would be tomorrow.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 13 is Resolution 2025-R19, a resolution honoring Tyco v. Swick by designating a portion of Crescent Drive between 26th Street and Berkeley Road in Mill Creek Township with the honorary street name of Tyco Swick Way. Mr. Bach.
Thank you, Dan. As Linda covered earlier so aptly, I'm just going to summarize the resolution. Whereas Mill Creek Township was contacted recently by the Erie Lions Club and the Site Center of Northwestern PA, seeking to have a portion of Crescent Drive renamed Tyco Swick Way in recognition of Tyco V. Swick, retired executive director of the Site Center of Northwestern PA after 46 years of service, and game manager of the Erie Lions Club Save an Eye football game for 51 years. And under 35 PS 6739 of the Second Class Township Code, Mill Creek Township has the authority to provide for the naming of streets. And whereas the Board of Supervisors is willing to grant the Erie Lions Club and Site Center's request by providing the honorary street name of Tyco Swick Way for the western portion of Crescent Drive located between West 26th Street and Berkeley Road. By taking this action, the supervisors do not intend to make any changes to the official name of the street, which is and shall remain Crescent Drive for all purposes, including official post office address of the properties that are adjacent to that portion of Crescent Drive. The Township Public Works Department is directed to place the street name signs with an honorary designation of Tyco Swick Way at appropriate locations along Crescent Drive between the intersection of West 26th and Berkeley Road. The Erie Lions Club and the Site Center shall bear the cost of creating and installing the street signs. Adopted today, May 13th, 2025. I would like to make a motion for approval of this resolution.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I will second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
I'd like to add one more thing, Dan, that this is kind of under the radar. Tyco doesn't know about this, so we want to, if you see him out and about, don't say anything.
So we shouldn't put this on the news then?
No,
Okay.
no. We'll have to
Here,
we'll have
Sal.
to redact this portion of our meeting.
But it is public.
So,
Okay, very good. We'll move on to item 14, a sewer developer agreement for Aldi, 5426 West Ridge Road. Mr. Rodemeyer?
Yes, thank you. The agreement is in regards to 5426 West Ridge Road for the Aldi grocery store. This is in regards to an extension of their sanitary sewer service for their project. The developer has paid the associated developer fee and has signed the agreement, and we are recommending approval of the sewer developer agreement.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve this developer agreement?
I'll make the motion to approve the developer agreement.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. We have a stormwater maintenance operation agreement, 5035 Westlake Road. Mr. Rodemeyer?
Yes, this is for an individual residential lot at 5035 Westlake Road. This for the stormwater management agreement. The plans have been reviewed by our office, haven't been approved, and we are recommending approval of this stormwater maintenance operation and maintenance agreement.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve this agreement?
So moved.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. We have another stormwater maintenance and agreement for Westridge Estates Phase 3. Mr. Rodemeyer?
Yes, slightly different but similar. Obviously, this is for the development for the Westridge Estates Phase 3. For the stormwater maintenance agreement, the plans have been reviewed and approved by our office and as well as GPI. The construction cost estimate associated with this has been approved as well, and we are recommending approval of the agreement and acceptance plan.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve this agreement?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 17 is a memorandum of understanding for the 2025 multi-municipal collaboration grant for EGRA and the Jefferson Educational Society. Mrs. Clear?
Thank you. Yes, before you is the multi-municipal collaboration grant that is sponsored by EGRA. This agreement would have the Jefferson Educational Society and Mill Creek Township applying for this grant that has been offered for a few different years, I think 5 or 6 years at this point now. The Jefferson Educational Society is a 501c3 who is asking for a partner with our government to receive this grant. And there is no financial obligation given from the township for this application. So with that, I will make a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 18 is a memorandum of agreement with ASME and the township for 2025 summer infrastructure overtime. Township's objective is to maintain our roadways and install, inspect, and repair our storm sewer assets. And to support these objectives, the township and ASME have an agreement that the township will offer overtime Monday through Thursday, beginning June 2nd through August 28th of this year. Overtime shall be filled by at least 5 township employees, and the other part of this agreement is that in the event of inclement weather, the township or the duty foreman cancel the overtime for that day. I'll make a motion to that effect to approve the summer infrastructure overtime.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 19 is a settlement agreement for 3634 Argyle. Attorney Shaw?
Yes, in May of 2022, the Township's Code Enforcement Officer performed a property maintenance inspection of the property structures located at 3634 Argyle Avenue, located in Mill Creek Township. Multiple violations of the Township's property maintenance code were discovered, and the property owner was directed to correct the violations. The violations continued to exist on that property, and in January of 2024, the Township commenced a civil action in the Erie Court of Common Pleas seeking an order compelling the property owner to abate the violations, and alternatively, an order permitting the township to enter the property to abate the violations. The property is owned by Edith A. Triber, but Mrs. Triber passed away in September of 2024, unbeknownst to the township. No estate was opened, but her two sons, Dale and Stephen Triber, were joined in the lawsuit as heirs of her estate. Neither the property owner nor the sons responded to the complaint, and default judgments were entered against all of the parties. In an effort to amicably and quickly resolve the issues with the property, the township approached the heirs of the property owner regarding the possibility of entering into a settlement agreement. The township recently received a signed settlement agreement from Stephen Triber. The agreement is entered into by the township and Stephen Triber in exchange for the township withdrawing the lawsuit against the property and marking the judgment against him as satisfied. Mr. Triber will permit the township to enter the property to abate all existing code violations, and then to file a lien against the property for the abatement costs and the attorney's fees and costs incurred in resolving the violations of the township's property maintenance code. I recommend approval of this agreement, and as you can see, it's been signed by Mr. Triber.
Okay, thank you. Are there any comments or questions for Attorney Shaw regarding this settlement agreement?
No, but I will make a motion to approve the settlement agreement.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 20 is an authorization for the solicitor to file a property maintenance code enforcement action in the Court of Common Pleas regarding property maintenance code violations for 438 Clifton Drive. Attorney Shaw?
Yes, this is a request for authorization to file a property maintenance code enforcement action in the Erie County Court of Common Pleas with respect to the property located at 438 Clifton Drive. The Department of Code Enforcement has referred this matter to our office for purposes of filing a civil enforcement complaint. The property has a number of exterior property maintenance code violations. We have had property maintenance issues with this property since September of 2021 and have had minimal success in getting them resolved by the property owner. Most recently, we were given access to observe a portion of the property not visible from the street, which revealed additional exterior property maintenance code violations. And given the history of prior non-compliance where the owner has failed to correct the violations, despite multiple opportunities to do so, we request authorization to proceed with preparing and filing a complaint to enforce the property maintenance code with respect to the property located at 438 Clifton Drive before the Erie County Court of Common Pleas.
Okay, thank you. Any comments or questions for Attorney Shaw? If not, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 21 is an extension request for the Shrine Club due diligence. Mr. Waldinger?
Thank you. I'm pinch hitting for Ashley Marsteller this morning. The exploration of the purchase of the Shrine Club per the agreed upon letter of intent had a due diligence period that is scheduled to expire on May 30th, 2025. As of today, the township has not received final versions of the feasibility study or the property condition report. Because of this, Ms. Marsteller is recommending that the board make a formal request to the Shriners organization to extend the due diligence period an additional 30 days. This will allow the township the time necessary to review the final reports and will provide for additional public comment once all the information from the studies has been shared.
If I could add to that, I would suggest the recommendation would be to, in addition to approving reaching out to the Shrine Club, would be also, to the extent they're agreeable, authorizing the chair to execute the appropriate documentation to reflect that change.
Okay, thank you to both of you. Is there a motion to approve this as described by Attorney Shaw?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Item 22 is the Mill Creek Golf and Learning Center course maintenance agreement. Attorney Shaw?
Yes, before you is an agreement with Premier Turf for turf maintenance at the Mill Creek Golf and Learning Center for the 2025 golf season. The township has been working with Dan Olson of Premier Turf since 2018 at the Mill Creek Golf and Learning Center and wish to continue that relationship. The total cost of the services provided under the contract is $13,800, which is an increase of only $100 from last year's contract. Based on the recommendation of Director of Parks and Recreation, Ashley Marsteller, it would also be my recommendation to approve this agreement. I will note that Mr. Olson has done a great job for us at the golf course from the time the course was kind of reinitiated. So I would highly recommend retaining him.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the agreement with Premier Turf?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Moving on to communications, Treasurer Communications.
I don't have anything today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have hiring requests. We have 3 with the police department. Is the board okay with reviewing all 3?
Yes, please.
Okay, Chief, go ahead.
Thank you. On May 27th, Patrolman Jordan Query is resigning as a police officer with us to move back to his home state of Michigan. And his wife has become a doctor and is being offered a residency back in their home state. So that's the reason for his departure. Officer Query will leave a void. He was a very active patrol officer in his time with us, particularly active in DUI enforcement. And it's my recommendation to hire the next day, May 28th, Joseph D. Erickson as a probationary police officer at the rate of $31.45 per hour. Joseph has previously worked and is still working as a police officer with the Erie City School District. Next, it's my recommendation to hire Evan G. Daly as the police crisis co-responder with a start date of May 19th at the rate of $28.20 per hour. Evan has been serving as our crisis co-responder under contract through Safe Harbor since January of 2023, and his role will continue with grant funding under our new Coast Grant. Evan has been performing extremely well. He's earned the trust of the department, and again, it's my recommendation to hire him as a township employee on May 19th. And last, dispatcher Charles Priestap is retiring in a few short weeks, and in preparation of that, it's my request to hire as a full-time public safety dispatcher Melissa Johnson on May 14th at the rate of $22.85 per hour. Melissa currently works for Pilar Real Estate as a property manager for the Reserve at Mill Creek, and prior to that, she worked in dispatching for A&M Recovery and Towing. Melissa has knowledge of police towing and has a prior working relationship with police departments.
Thank you, Chief. Does the board have any comments or questions for the chief regarding these 3 hires?
No.
Okay. If not, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next item is a probationary part-time firefighter for the Mill Creek Fire Department. And with us today is firefighter Al Brzezinski. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It is our recommendation to hire firefighter Owen J. Pinio to the position of probationary firefighter part-time at a rate of $17.53 an hour. Owen has worked as an emergency room technician at UPMC for a number of years, as well as a firefighter EMT for a number of years throughout the county. He has both his Firefighter 1 and EMT certifications. He did test with our last round of full-time test employees. It is our recommendation to hire him at the date of June 1st, 2025.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve this hire?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next item is the hiring of 2 mechanics, which is great news for the township. The first hire is Jim Batanian. His date of hire will be May 27th at a rate of $28.92 an hour. Jim worked for Countryside Truck Services as a lead mechanic for 5 years. He has experience working on diesel and fire trucks. Next person will be Cody Hamill. Start date would be May 27th at $28.92 an hour. Cody worked for JS Auto, and prior to that, he worked at JEJ for 15 years as an electrician and a mechanic for their fleet. And I'll put that in the form of a motion to hire both of those individuals.
I will second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Moving on to training requests, we have 2 for administration. Ms. Page?
Yes. Can I read both of them?
Yes,
And then we'll-
please.
Okay.
Yep, thanks.
I am requesting approval for Jennifer Tech to attend a virtual webinar entitled The Introduction to Governmental Accounting for Accountants, and it is being offered by the Government Finance Officer Association, and it is being held on July 30th, 2025. This training will provide ongoing instruction to the conceptual and practical ways in which generally accepted accounting principles for governments differ from that used in the private sector. It will familiarize participants with the purpose and the use of fund accounting. The cost for the webinar is $200 and is budgeted in the administration's training budget. And since this is a virtual webinar, there are no travel costs. Number 2, I am seeking approval for myself and Jennifer Tech to attend a virtual webinar entitled the GFOA's Best Practices Forum, and it is being offered by the Government Finance Officers Association on September 15th through the 19th. This forum is a multi-day, multi-session forum that over 5 days will offer sessions presented by expert presenters that will share the latest trends, real-world case studies, and practical strategies in the areas of budgeting, procurement, capital planning, accounting, debt, risk management, and leadership. The cost for this webinar is $350 and has been budgeted in the administration's training budget. Again, this is a virtual webinar, so there will be no travel costs.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve this training for the administration department?
So moved.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. We have 1 training request for the police department. Chief Mook?
Thank you. As recent retirements and departures have taken place from the police department, we are in need of additional traffic crash investigators. I'm seeking approval to send Corporal Steiner, Patrolman Kindle, and Patrolman Chest to an on-scene collision investigation course taking place August 4th through August 15th, and this will be held at the Patton Township Municipal Building in State College. Because the course is sponsored by the PA State Police, there are no tuition costs to attend. Lodging is estimated at $144 a night. The officers will be coming home on the weekend, so 10 nights, 2 rooms, total $2,880. Per diem costs are $814 per person, $2,442 total. Fuel costs are estimated at $200. Total travel costs are approximately $5,522. And I recommend approval of the training.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve this training?
I'll make that motion to approve.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. We have 3 training requests for the fire department. Joe, you want to go ahead and do all 3? Thanks.
Do that. Up first, I'm requesting approval for the Fire Chief Mike Cliff to attend the Fire Rescue International FRI Conference, hosted by the International Association of Fire Chiefs, IAFC, taking place in Orlando, Florida, from August 12th to the 15th this year. This annual conference brings together fire service leaders, from across the country, providing valuable training and leadership development. The estimated costs are as follows: the conference, $699, hotel, $712.43, flight, $447.46, per diem, $272. Attendance at the FRI would support our department's ongoing leadership and operational planning initiatives. These all fall within our budget, and I recommend the approval. Second training request. I'm requesting formal approval for firefighter Nicholas Ayers to take Fire Instructor 1 through Butler County Community College. This class will cost $200. There is no per diem or mileage reimbursement associated. The class runs October 13th through 16th of this year, and the test date is October 24th of this year. This does fall within our budget, and I recommend the approval. Final training request for the fire department. I'm requesting approval for Fire Chief Michael Cliff to attend the Fire Officer 3 and Fire Officer 4 course at the Ohio Fire Academy, This NFPA 1021 accredited program includes 4 in-person sessions scheduled for the following dates: May 12th through 14th, July 9th through 11th, August 27th through 29th, October 9th through 10th, all of this year. This course includes rigorous coursework, and meets the national standards for fire officer. The total course cost is $50. Travel will be via fire department vehicle. Estimated hotel costs are $310 per blocked session that I mentioned earlier, with a per diem of $204 per blocked session. All of these fall within our training budget, and I recommend the approval.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve this training?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next item is the Barber Beast on the Bay Letter of Acknowledgement. This event will take place on September 6th of this year. This is a letter to PennDOT from the township. This letter is to confirm that Mill Creek Township is coordinating services with the Barber National Institute for their annual Barber Beast on the Bay event to be held on Saturday, September 6, 2025. The event is slated to utilize approximately a half a mile of the right southbound lane of Route 832 Peninsula Drive from the area Presque State Park entrance, Beach 1 to Waldemere's Park entrance, also known as Heartbreak Hill. Barber National Institute has contracted emergency services outside of Mill Creek Township with EmergiCare, and Mill Creek's Westlake and Westridge Fire Departments will be assisting on site to ensure the safety of the participants at the event. Assisting will also be Brookside, Edinburgh, and Crescent Hose Company Fire Departments. So is there a motion to send this letter of acknowledgement to PennDOT?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Executive session was held on May 1st. Litigation matters related to right to know requests, federal and state court lawsuits, zoning hearing board appeals, permitting dispute, and easement disputes. Real estate matters related to parks and rec facilities and lease of township properties, public safety matters, and personnel matters related to the fire department. On May 8th, litigation matters related to code enforcement, state court lawsuits, permitting dispute, easement dispute, and right to know requests. Personnel matters related to the fire department, and real estate matters related to parks and rec facilities and leases of township properties. Moving on to solicitor communications. Attorney Shaw?
Nothing further on my end, thank you.
Okay, moving on to the student ambassador report.
Good morning. Here are a few updates from McDowell that we would like to share with you. The College Board's Advanced Placement, or AP final testing, is underway at McDowell. AP classes are offered by schools nationwide as a way for college-bound students to get a head start on their education. These classes are more rigorous and thorough than traditional classes and potentially allow students to earn college credit while still in high school. We wish all of our AP students good luck on their exams. The Mill Creek Secondary Art Show is ongoing in the McDowell Intermediate Lobby. This show features numerous pieces of artwork on display created by students across the township. May 23rd is the last day of this event, so stop by soon if you want to see some of the amazing creativity on display. McDowell's Leather and Lace Initiative, a club focused on upcycling clothing, just concluded their leather and lace thrift store. Students in this club collected donations of lightly used clothing throughout the school year. Over the course of a week, they then sold their collection to new happy homes when these clothes might have otherwise been thrown away. All profit and anything unsold was then donated to local charities like the Erie City Mission. Congrats to the Leather and Lace Initiative on their positive impact on the community and the environment. Thank you for your attention, and look forward to sharing more updates in the future.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Before you leave, are you still accepting donations? Is the leather, what is it called, leather and lace?
I'm not sure of that
Okay.
fact. I just know that they had that store or whatever. So,
Okay.
But I'm not sure of that.
That's
answer.
okay. If you need us to also kind of forward that communication out, just let us know, and we can help their group collect donations and here at the township building as well. Maybe you don't want clothes from old people, though. Like
It
me.
was from a variety of, it was from a variety of sources.
That's
all-
right, that's right.
So,
Okay, thank you so much.
thank you.
Before we move on to citizens to be heard, I just want to put out a reminder for those that are wishing to address the board. We welcome all our citizens who wish to speak at the podium. Please note the following guidelines. Please fill out the sign-in sheet with your name and address, which is on the podium. Only your name will need to be read aloud for public record. Each speaker is allotted 5 minutes. Comments may be timed, and the timer will be started when you begin your comments. To ensure fairness and efficiency, please be respectful of others and keep your remarks within the allotted time. Anyone exceeding their time will be asked to conclude and save additional comments for the next meeting. If your matter is urgent and cannot wait until the next meeting, please call or reach out to us during normal business hours. Thanks for your cooperation. Your voice does matter. And with that, we'll open up the citizens to be heard.
My name is Candy Horm, and I thank you for letting me speak. I am quite relieved that you are extending the due diligence for 30 days, because I have quite a few questions from the open house. From what I looked at, I have not seen any type of a property report from anybody, and now I heard you say that the feasibility study is not complete. Is that true?
I haven't seen a report.
Okay, so what I'm wondering is how can they make all these predictions?
Mr. Waldinger, were you going to say something?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I hopefully can clear some of that up. No, we do not have a final feasibility report. They have gone through and done all their calculations. They are just working on the final document now in order to give out. We knew that people were anxious to have those public meetings, and so we went ahead and scheduled them with the majority of the work complete, what we felt was necessary to provide. Absolutely, the full report will be published online for everybody to review, but the information that was shared at the open houses is valid information that will be included in the report. As far as the property condition report, that's very similar. We do have a draft, but they have not completed all of their work. And so once that property condition report is complete, that will be also released in its entirety. As I mentioned, we knew that there was a give and take between people's desire to have that meeting, but also to have the information that we needed for the meeting. And so we landed with a substantially complete set of information to share at the open houses, with more to come as it's finalized.
Okay, so how can this Ballard Associates, which Ashley told me they were a local company, and I looked them up, they're from Colorado. I'm sorry, Colorado specs may be different than us. Colorado's profit margins may be different from us. You know, what the market will bear for charging for memberships may be different from us.
Property was.
So, but I wanted to know, how can they make these predictions on what it would cost to operate if you don't even have a building inspection? Do you know the cost of utilities? How much is the gas? How much is the water? How much is electric? You know, what did they spend on maintenance costs for plowing? You know, so how are you gonna make these predictions? And I, you know, like I'm looking at, these are screenshots that I did during the open house. Like they're saying cost recovery for the first year is 87.7%. How can you predict that if you don't have any figures for what it costs to operate it right now? You know, and then like what they had for charges, like for people to use this center, you know. Adult programs, 50 to 60 bucks. You know, seniors, $20 a month, households, 40. I could get a gym membership cheaper than that. And if what they said was true, that the population in Mill Creek is baby boomers and seniors, you're gonna have people on a limited income. So what they're putting together, to me, is not making sense. And I think that you're just trying to make it look good to the public, all right? On one of the sheets, it said, okay, the cost of the Shrine Club is 3.7 million, whatever, okay? The cost to rebuild it is 22 million. So Mill Creek's saving you 17 million? I don't think so. You're costing us 3.7. And it's like when you go to the Target, you get your receipt, it says, oh, you saved 90 bucks. No, I didn't, I spent. I didn't save. And so you can couch it however you will with your terminology, it's still costing the taxpayers. And Mr. Bach and Dan, both of you, you worked in a job where you had to make split-second decisions for your life or someone else. You did the same as a volunteer fireman, okay? This is not an emergency to buy this building, you know? That's why I say due diligence. There is no rush in saying, oh, we gotta buy it, it's available, you know? And I'm thinking if you use that, you know, as a guideline, that, you know, do more research before you make a decision. Is that my thing? Did you take off for his time talking? Can I just have a couple more minutes?
Just, yeah, if you could just wrap it up here.
Okay, I also, before you make any decisions, I don't know if you are aware where that club is. There are 165 cell towers and 178 antennas within 3 miles of that. So that's like a microwave soup. Do you want your kids going to a class there? Do you want to participate in something? And could that be a reason why their membership went down for health reasons? That's all I have to say, and I will leave. And thank you for hearing me out.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else wishing to address the board?
Sorry. Oh, you're done.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is William Schaff, and I'm a member of the Mill Creek Township Government Study Commission. And I'm here to tell you that last night the commission passed a resolution and moved to recommend a council or supervisor / manager form of government with 5 members elected at large and with an appointed treasurer. A detailed report of our investigation conclusions and findings will be prepared, submitted to the township secretary and to the voter registration office according to the timeline prescribed in the second-class township code. And at that point in time, it will go on the November ballot, and the members, the citizens of Mill Creek Township will have the opportunity to vote whether they agree or disagree with our conclusion. Any questions? Thank you very much. I appreciate the time this morning.
Thank you for the update. Anyone else wishing to address the board?
I'm writing as fast as I can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't start, wait. Okay. Name's George Video, 1720 West Gore Road. Well, I'm here to tell you the same thing he did. Except I'm here to ask everybody to watch that meeting last night. there was a lot of opinions, and there was a decision. Some of the facts I can't verify, some of the statements. I think Mill Creek owes, every citizen should take their time to watch that meeting last night. I think you should watch all of them. It's a very important question that's going to come up, and I don't think enough people have become engaged in that as they aren't engaged in this type of setting. But one thing I will tell you, and I'll stress this, the manager is appointed by council. The manager does not have to live in this area to run this township. He can live in Pittsburgh, he can live in Ohio, he can live in New York. He can appoint assistant managers underneath him. They said the cost was a wash last night between what we have now and what we had before, or what is to come. Well, it's not a wash. You got to add it up. One person to answer to and 5 council members. The manager is, to me, is beholden to the council members for his job, for his very existence there. They have the right to get rid of him. But if he doesn't, to me, cater or, succumb to the wants and the points of the council, I think we're in a little bit of trouble, just as you people are. We've had disagreements. And I think the right way is to have somebody that is elected to run this township, not somebody that's appointed by 5 members. And by the way, if you watched the meeting last night, you guys aren't even qualified to be up here. If you look back on what they said last night, we don't have the wherewithal to run this township, nor the knowledge, nor the degrees. It's kind of sad the way it was classified, not by all, but by some. I just get so frustrated with the way this was brought up, instituted, and has been handled. I await extra information on what went on, and I hope it's a complete and factual statement coming from these people. But again, I urge you, for the sake of the township, not that they were bad people, but I think there was bias on behalf of some of the people. We also have an alternate member that stands here and says Mill Creek is in a deficit. So, Melanie, are we in a deficit?
Actually, next meeting, I will be presenting a preliminary unaudited 2024. And I guess we'll state the facts at that point in time of how 2024 went versus the prior years of 2023 under a different treasurer. So I will say that.
All right.
I will be presenting my report in 2 weeks.
Okay. So, well, I don't want to ask about what happened with the previous treasurer, but I mean, statements that are going out right now to me are, if you have an opinion, maybe keep it to yourself, but to walk around and share it. I know it was shared at the Torch Club meeting, this type of talk. She wants to say it here, that's okay. I just think we've been misled a little bit. I think the guys did their job, but I think the conclusion was already, how can I say it? Before it started, it was already decided, let's put it that way. So it was handled wrong from the get-go by bringing it up by a supervisor, should have been petitioned so that everybody understood what was going on, not just the people at the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I say something? I would like to state that there has not been one question proposed to me by any commission member. So what they are using was through 2023. They do not know what has happened since then, what improvements in processes or anything that has been made. I have not had one financial question asked of me. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address the board?
Hold your timer. Hi, I'm Dennis McAndrew, longtime Mill Creek Township citizen for over 30 years. I feel like John Crow. I have mixed feelings about a lot of things that were stated, and out of the 54,000 residents in Mill Creek, I realize we're all busy, and there's like 3 of us here. I attend a lot of meetings where I'm the only township citizen. I think it's a shame. It's unfortunate. The Zemzem property, everyone's focusing, and it's unfortunate, the bad taste with the West 8th Street, and they're being, I think, conflated or mixed with both people. And since the 30 years I've lived here, I've seen a lot of the green disappear, and people think that is public is not public. Good examples over by Kearsarge Fire Department, that was all woods. The Lakeview apartments on West Grandview, by Maria's Pizza, that was woods. I mean, I'm not a fan of spending more money, or taxes, and I also have mixed feelings about paying more for duplicating services. But some of the moral issues, we need to preserve green space. And it might be more expensive, but if township doesn't buy that property, can that all be developed and be all paved over, pave over paradise and build up? Short term you might get more revenue, but long term, now you just wiped out how many acres of trees and woods and green space. People don't realize that there's, 40 some plus small herd of deer there, turkeys and wildlife. The piece, even though it's a busy road, it's quiet. That could all be gone. Not my backyard. I don't know how many, just at the airport property that they wanted to put low-income housing. Not in my backyard. How many people said, hey, there's deer, there's all this other stuff, turkeys and stuff. They didn't want to lose that green space, but that's private property. The aviation club property that wanted to be developed, and then it wasn't, and something else happened, and not in my backyard. What, in the long run, it might seem expensive, but if you look at New York City, the most expensive property is Central Park, and then 1 to 2 block radius around. That's green space. Mill Creek Township has a potential to save green space. In the 30-some years I've been here, I don't know how many acres have disappeared for parking lots and for development, and my God, do we need any more Dollar Generals? Please. It's out. Meanwhile, we have the property in Kmart sitting empty, half of the Cafaro property up by the mall sitting empty. We can make Interchange Road so congested now by allowing that whole more development. At some point, we need to decide if, as a society, because if you take, and if the state and the federal government blocks access to Presque Isle, which they're floating the idea around, I don't think people are paying attention to, other than a large cemeteries, you don't have much green, Asbury Woods, and that's it. So, everyone's focusing on the money in the short term, but I also think we need to focus on the wellness of us. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address the board? Not. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, this meeting's adjourned at 10:40.